we go. We got there eventually. Listen, man, I'm just going to have to let you marinate in this moment. Right now, in October 28th of 2020, your lifelong love affair with Thomas Edward Patrick Brady, not only does it seem to be as strong as ever, but it seems to have, reached new heights.
I love the relationship between Nick and Colin. I love the relationship.
It's really starting to irritate
adorable.
me.
Let's talk some Cleveland Browns.
I'm not as high on him as I once was. Sorry, Jim.
No, I am.
Go ahead.
The team's sitting at 5-2, but also sitting in third place in the AFC North. And now without Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry was asked if it's at all possible that the Browns could be better without Odell. His response, an emphatic, a resounding, not true at all. Well, Jarvis, looking at the numbers, there's a case to be made. Greg Jennings back with us. Greg, is he just being a good friend? Could the Browns really be better without Odell?
Well, I know Jarvis very well, and I know his relationship with Odell is something that he cherishes, and he is being a really good friend. Not saying that he is completely wrong, but he's about 95% wrong here. He is an impact player, and he does change the game defensively because you have to account for where he is when he's on the football field. But as far as effective as an offense and their production offensively, I truly believe, and you can watch the tape because the tape, Brandon, you know it and I know it, it does not lie. When you watch Baker Mayfield, when Odell Beckham is not on the field, it almost appears as though there's a sense of pressure that's being relieved of not having to get him the ball or not trying to get him the ball. And for a young quarterback who has struggled with forcing the ball to a guy who we all know to be an impact playmaker, it is a relief at times. You don't want to admit it because of how talented Odell Beckham is, and you know what he prevents or provides for a defense or looks as far as the defense trying to take him away and opening things up for your other guys. But he is better. This offense is better without Odell Beckham Jr. on the field.
Greg, I agree with you. And it's for the same reasons, and I've been saying it for the past week or two. Look, it's so much pressure a dominant number one wide receiver puts on the quarterback and the play caller. There's nothing else I can say. I've been saying the same thing. I sound like a broken record. Odell's a once-in-a-lifetime talent, but it has nothing to do with Odell. It has everything to do with how they weren't using Odell. I talked about it back in week 2 and week 3. Get this guy the ball early. Also, find a way to get him involved in the bubble screen, in the quick screen, in those one-step slants, in those one-step smoke routes, so he can then take it, because they're extended running plays, and do something with it. But they haven't been able to do it. Odell Beckham Jr. on your roster, and he's only getting targeted 7 times a game, is terrible. He's only averaging 4 catches, 3-4 catches. It's terrible. And that has to do with just the whole dynamic of his personality, Baker's, and the play callers. The play caller has to be comfortable. The quarterback has to be comfortable, and he's not. And what Greg said, turn on the film. The tape don't lie. Baker seems more comfortable when he throws to Higgins. The last 3 weeks, 10 for 11, 2 touchdowns. He's way more comfortable with this guy. Going back to 2018, way more comfortable with Jarvis Landry. I've experienced this. I had to learn that the first couple years in my career. When I come to the sideline, my facial expression, the way I communicate, the way I talk matters. It affects everybody on that offensive side. So, yes, I do believe that it's going to be intriguing. We talked about this earlier, intriguing moving forward, how they operate without Odell.
So here's the thing, though, because I do think the offense maybe could be more efficient, just less explosive, because you're losing your best pure playmaker. But, Greg, and let me toss it to you quickly, you mentioned look at the numbers. What I'm interested in is not only what Baker's numbers are when he targets Odell or targets other people when Odell's on the field, when Odell's not on the field, but what do the running game numbers look like with Odell on or off the field? Because you and Brandon know this as well as anybody. What a true number one receiver opens up for other players on the team, most notably running backs, who aren't dealing with a loaded box, who know that coverage is skewed to Odell's side, and the easier it makes running the football, how is that going to change? So, Greg, it's not just that Jarvis is going to start being doubled more, but Nick Chubb, when he comes back after the bye, is he going to have as many open holes? Kareem Hunt this week against the Raiders, are they going to scheme to stop him? How much of an impact was Odell having on plays when he wasn't touching the ball? I'm interested to see that because and you can speak to this better than me, I don't think that can be disregarded here.
No, it can't be disregarded. And the reality of it is when you look at the Cleveland Browns, they're going to run the ball regardless of who's on the field. That's just what they do. They're run-it-first offense. They know that's where they hang their hat. If you look at their passing numbers, they don't throw the ball a tremendous amount across the field. So Odell Beckham, does he make a difference? Yes. What Brandon is saying is 100% correct. It is not about his talent level. It is not about what he can or cannot do with this team. It's what they do better without him and how they haven't been able to include him to progress what they already do well.
Yeah, and two really quick examples of this, Greg and Nick Wilds. So in 2009, opening game of the season, we go to Oakland. I'm not there. Okay, we have Eddie Royal, Tony Scheffler, Jay Cutler. They go out there and they put up 40-something points. And at that time, I'm coming off of back-to-back Pro Bowls, 100-catch seasons. And my team, they went out there and put up more points than we ever had. And I'm sitting there in awe, cheering, but I'm like, wow, they did it. Fast forward to 2011, playing for the Miami Dolphins. I've snapped my hamstring. Thursday Night Football, playing against the Chicago Bears. Team goes to Oakland. We got Devon Best, Brian Hartline. They go in there, and they put up another 40 points. And that was the first time I said, wow, it's more about the team than it is me. Now, yes, I go out there, and I definitely dictate coverage. They're going to roll to cover two. They're going to put two men on me. In the red zone, they might vice me like it's punt pro. But what you got to understand is how does the entire thing work with all 11 guys, not just one, and everybody has to be comfortable.
Okay, so real quick, Nick, let's suppose everybody's right, that this offense is more efficient. They get into the playoffs, maybe they win a game, maybe they go to Pittsburgh and lose, and everyone's like, hey, good season, and they pick up Baker's option. Where does that leave Odell?
Well, I think Odell's getting traded. Okay. I think that if it plays out like that, and by the way, after Oakland, they've got, who do they have? They have Houston, Philly, and Jacksonville. This team very easily could be 8-3 or 9-2. I think that they will recoup a first-round pick or a high second-round pick for Odell this offseason. That's where I think this goes, Jeff.
All right, let's take a turn. There is a new sheriff in town for the Sixers. Will that mean a big change in philosophy? We'll talk hoops next, but first take a listen to Gronk talking mom's cooking.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a saying my mom used to say, it must be maple syrup.